President Joe Biden used the COVID-19 pandemic as a way to forgive thousands of dollars in student loan debt for millions of Americans. But some Republican-led states have sued, claiming he doesn't have the authority to do that. Now the Supreme Court is deciding the constitutionality of President Biden's program to forgive, in some cases, up to $20,000 in student loans. As many as 43 million Americans could see some or all of their student loans forgiven if the court allows the program to go forth. The Congressional Budget Office says the program will cost more than $430 billion. Today, our Haley Boland checked in with a local economics professor on the impact to those in our area.
Dr. Richard McGrath, an economics professor here with Georgia Southern University, says that if the student debt relief program is allowed to continue, it could open many doors for borrowers. McGrath says overall going to college is more expensive than it used to be. He says a good way to look at this is by calculating how many hours a student would have to work a minimum wage job to pay for tuition. According to educationdata.org, average tuition for a four-year public university in the early 1980s was around $1,000. Minimum wage at this time was around $335. So a student would have to work approximately 300 hours per year to pay for tuition. Now fast forward to 2020, yearly tuition averages $9,000 and minimum wage is at $725. By the same calculation, McGrath says a student would have to work 1,200 hours a year to pay for this. He adds if this is forgiven, it could open up spending in other sectors of the economy, like purchasing a home.
You have people who could technically qualify to buy a house and make the house payments, except their other debts stop them from qualifying for a loan. Okay, if you take $200 off somebody's other debts, it's going to make it much easier for them to qualify for a mortgage under those criteria.
Coming up on the news at 5 o'clock, I talked to some borrowers who haven't touched their student loans since that freeze began at the beginning of the pandemic, as well as others who are less than pleased by the program. In Savannah, Haley Boland, WTOC News.
The court is expected to issue a ruling in the case sometime early this summer.